Hi everyone. Hey, just give you a quick review of my new to me 1973. This is a long wheelbase BMW R75/5, and you can tell it's a long wheelbase because it has this extra piece here in the swing arm shaft for the final drive. Anyway, yeah, I bought this about a week and a half ago, and I've been busy sorting it out. So this one kind of complements my Porsche, if there's such a thing. I was intrigued by the flat engine and the ease of maintenance of these, and I've kind of wanted to check this off my bucket list. I've had everything from the 70s dirt bikes, um, RD 350s, R5s, RD 400s, and into the 80s, kind of when I started riding. So I've had every Japanese sport bikes. I've had all the Harley Davidson frames, from Sportster to FLH, but never BMW. So this is my first foray in the BMW. So yeah, I haven't been able to get off of the bike. I've really enjoyed riding it and working on it. So I'm a DIY guy. If you haven't seen my channel before, I have a 89 Porsche that I rebuilt the engine. I basically bought the Porsche to rebuild it. And this is kind of in the same lines of that. So yeah, just talk about what I've done to this, kind of what I see in the design in terms of DIY, and then my riding impression. So quickly, starting with the heart of it at the engine. So yeah, flat twin. It's a pushrod engine. I've already done the valve adjustments, so this bike was kind of mechanically sick when I bought it. It runs good now. Um, Valves were out of adjustment on both sides. Carburetors were leaking. So this one, for your astute airhead guys, you'll notice this one has the Mikunis. So it's got 32 millimeter Mikunis. So I say good because I've had Mikuni VMs on, geez, so many bikes I've had over the years. So I'm very comfortable with those. So that was a cool modification over the factory Bings. I did rebuild these. So yeah, in a week and a half I've been busy. I rebuilt both of these carbs, and I synced them with the carb mate tool. Whoever owned this bike before, it's pretty cool. They put a vacuum port on the inside, just enough of a nub of brass for me to get a vacuum gauge on. So yeah, I was able to do that. Valve adjustments were easy. So basically two nuts and a bolt in the middle, and it's a pushrod engine. So I don't know if anyone who owns these that have rebuilt them would chime in, but I'm pretty sure I could have the heads and cylinders off of this bike in about half an hour and probably have a whole top end done, minus the machine work, of course. Like if you had to do it, it'd probably be less than 2 hours of labor. So very, very simple engine. I really, really enjoyed it. Another surprise when I took off the tank was this has got electronic ignition. So I thought, all right, well, I'm gonna have to relearn points, but I guess not. So yeah, underneath it here, pretty simple. Whoops. Just put a little bag over the battery. So storage is limited, but I put a bag in here. Battery's there, small battery. Um, I guess there's some debate with the short wheelbase versus long wheelbase that you have a bigger battery tray, but this one seems to have a battery that's 3 inches wide. So for those historians here, yeah, my long wheelbase still takes the small battery, which is probably a drag, which I do have an Odyssey battery on the way for this. Um, yeah, so seat is easy to pop up. Gauges are pretty cool. It has a integrated gauge into the headlight nacelle. Controls, so you have a standard cable actuated clutch, the cable actuated rear drum. So yeah, if you've had old bikes, it's just a regular shaft into the tunable nut on the back. Front is a drum, dual leading edge. This is probably so I've adjusted this so it looks like so this one is supposed to move first and then followed by that one. So this was another thing I did. I didn't like the braking on it, so I took off the front wheel. I put on new brake shoes and replaced the shoes. The original shoes were still on it, dated 1972. So that's pretty wild. Anyway, I'm just bedding in the new ones. Braking action is improved, but they're still bedding in. So I would say for most people, that would be the Achilles heel, is the front drum. You really got to be careful. I know that, like some of my Japanese bikes with single piston caliper disc brakes from the 70s, do they overlap, as people say? Late drums versus early discs? Yes. I mean, the early disc brakes are like, they're so wooden, it's like trying to stop putting two pieces of 2x4 against the brake disc. These are kind of wooden too, but I'll give an update on that. So anyway, riding. Yeah, so the previous owner put on Euro bars. I do have the original handlebars, so the original handlebars kind of come back up a few more inches and they sweep back. But I like the look of it with the Euros, and somehow it gets away with the low bar. Ergonomics are really good for me, and I don't like bending over or having wrist strain, but for whatever reason, it works. Yeah, so I'm leaving them. So yeah, as you're riding it, let's see. Yeah, you got a good view out of the front. First impressions are that, man, these handlebars are real narrow, but it works. Somehow they got it working. Twin petcocks here, which you have to keep in mind. I think you can just run with one. They interconnect, so they come here, they go through, and then they tee here. So I'm pretty sure if you can just run with one, I open them both. I don't know what the proper protocol is on that. You got the weird key, and then you just start it up. So first impressions, when you give it gas, it has a heavy flywheel, so it does pitch to the right. So all those magazine tests I've read where they kind of noted that, I definitely noticed it. And it just kind of purrs along like a sewing machine here. I don't think it's overly loud. Definitely not at idle, but when you get on it, it starts to bark a little bit. But yeah, the idle is around 1,000, at least on the non-accurate tachometer here. But as it warms up, the idle goes up to like maybe 11 to 1200 RPM. So yeah, it starts right up. And yeah, a few things I've done. I messed up one thing, but I had to fix it. So I did. So if you use your side stand, use the Japanese bikes, don't use this as your for the center stand. Don't use that as your leverage point. You use that to put it down, and then you put your foot on the actual base here. So yeah, ask me how I know. I broke it, so that's a repair already. And then this is called a Farley side stand. So the previous owner said how don't ever put it on the factory kickstand because there was like a tab broken or something and the bike would fall over. So I just did some research on who's making side stands. I like Farley's. So the only thing is with his side stand is I'm not the best machinist, but essentially you take the exhaust clamp, which was here, you move it forward. It's got this plate, and he gives you another motor mount stud that goes across to the other side. And so all in here, I was getting interference between the shifter and this bolt, and then into the brackets. So yeah, I had to do a lot of grinding to get that to fit, but you know what? It's stable. and it's holding. So yeah, center stand, side stand, valve adjustment, front brakes, and general cleaning and sorting. Oh, I did the 4 oil changes, so that was interesting. I turned my garage into an oil slick. So yeah, you've got your motor oil, your transmission, then you have your drive shaft, and then you have the final drive. And yeah, so 4 oil change, 4 whole oil change. So anyway, it's raining, but yeah, been enjoying the bike, enjoyed the handling of it, like the reliability, and it's a keeper. So hopefully you liked the video. Please leave a comment if you have one of these, and anything you see that's messed up, let me know. But in the meantime, I'm getting wet. Bye.